They've won Tonys and Oscars and Emmys and Grammys. There's no red carpet because they're home in their jammies. From Melrose Place to Broadway to Janeway and her crew. Let Seth and James bring all the stars to you.
Anywho.
They're entertaining everyone, so who's gonna grouse? Just sit right back and you'll hear some tales on Stars in the House.
Hi, everyone. It's Seth and James. And, I always assume that everybody knows everything, but lately people keep going, hey, your bookcase looks like it's in color coordinated order. This happened months ago. Julie was doing a TikTok and she got this idea and she made our bookcase like that. So our kid Julie did that. She's very artistic, but I keep saying I literally can't find one book. But
yeah, you should have seen
no
Seth. He had, I forget what the book was, a book that he just finished. And he was
20 minutes.
He couldn't just put it on the bookcase randomly like he normally would. He was like, what is the color? It's not orange. It's not red. Where do I put it? And finally, he literally put it in the bookcase over there.
I was like, I can't.
He gave up.
I can't because I'm not artistic, so I knew she would get mad. Anyway, this is Stars in the House.
Yes.
Stars in the House we've been doing since March, usually twice a day. We started going once a day. We are our summer schedule, but we've been doing every day, and it's for the Actors Fund, which also I assume that everybody knows, but we keep finding out a lot of people don't know. Are we about to do our
Well, we're gonna have someone tell us what the Actors Fund is much better dressed than we've ever done, but we're not going to do it quite yet, Seth, because we want to just say a few shout outs about our viewers, because our viewers are amazing. So here's where we're at. Most of our donations are like $25, $50. Sometimes they're $5. And of course, we're really happy when they're more than that. But tonight we actually have a match. We don't have every time we have a match, and we know there are amazing Cher show fans out there. So for every dollar that you give, it's going to be matched tonight. So it means that if $2,000 is raised for the Actors Fund, it's going to be $4,000. And that is thanks to Concord Publishing. So we want to thank Concord, and it will be doubled. So send in those donations. Seth, tell everyone how to do it, because not only is it great for the matching donation part, but one of the shares will read your name out loud.
So if you donate at starsinthehouse.com, it's very easy. Go to starsinthehouse.com. You're going to get a receipt like 2 seconds later. Forward your receipt to donations at starsinthehouse.com. I will then get a list of them. I will forward them to one of the shares, and they will read it as Cher. So that means it's a very close mouth. Anyway, they can. The point is, okay, I'll handle it. Actually, just for that, we're going to have a face-off. Cher face-off. Okay, so Stephanie, Teal, and Micaela. Oh, is it Micaela? Micaela or Micaela? Okay, we'll talk about it later. So hold on, Steph. Steph, which one is it? How do I pronounce it?
Micaela.
Micaela. I keep wanting to say Micaela for my Spanish class in 11th grade.
She has this very gorgeous vibe about her, almost like she's on a Hawaiian island or something. Micaela. Although, yeah.
Thank you.
What's your name? Do you know?
More than what'd you say, dear?
Do you know what your name is in Hawaiian?
No, by the way, that was actually sadly that was my Spanish version of her name. So I gotta go. It's already so right back at me. But wait, do about the texting.
Yeah,
that's what
so the
millennials
texting is great too. So you can either go to starsinthehouse.com and you'll get a receipt from the Actors Fund, or you can text.
Yes, for you millennials.
Yeah, text Fund 2020. You're always saying that.
I know.
Text Fund 2020 to 56512. You see it right there on the bottom of your screen. Either way, you're going to get a receipt from the Actors Fund, and what you do is you forward that to donations at starsinthehouse.com.
And then we'll forward one of the shares, blah, blah, blah.
But we are up to, since mid-March, drum roll, Seth, well, $429,625 raised for the Actors Fund from Stars in the House viewers.
People want to know what the Actors Fund does, but we'd much rather someone tell us in full Cher drag.
That's right. So before we bring on the ladies, we thought we bring on the ladies, but from the stage.
If you guys don't know what the Actors Fund is, it's an extraordinary mission and organization that helps us. We as a family, the entertainment family, we celebrate with each other when we get married, when we have kids, when we get a new job. We also turn to each other when things don't go so right, when there are trials and troubles and God forbid, crisis. And we all seem to turn to the Actors Fund. And when I say we, it's not just actors, it's not just theatrical performers, television, film, musicians, ushers, stage management, technicians, it runs the gamut. And they help us with healthcare, mental health care, social services, financial services, and they do extraordinary work. I'm just gonna say a personal thank you. 20 years ago, I was about to be kicked out on the street because I couldn't pay my rent. I was waiting for a paycheck, it was substantial, and my account was going down, 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 and I kept paying. Finally, I called the Actors Fund. They tracked down that check, they got it into my account, they paid my rent for 2 months so I wouldn't go homeless, and it was extraordinary, and they were fantastic.
Yes.
Okay. Stephanie J. Black, I did not know that story, so we got to talk about that. That's really, really amazing.
That's right. Let's bring him on, Seth.
So first, let's bring on Teal Wicks, who's fixing her stunning look. Hi, Teal Wicks.
Hey, what's up? Hi.
It's all good. Then Stephanie J. Black, who looks like she's in a country kitchen.
Kind of.
And then finally, Micaela, who's right in the middle of recording her solo album.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Just tell the people. Yes, you are.
It's all good. Teal, I would love a little bit more light on you. That's my only issue.
No, I forgot to bust out my glamour light. I'm just gonna get really close. We're just gonna be like,
Yes. Oh my God.
Look at those eyes, people.
Teal
Somebody
has
has
already done one bad accent, and we're only a minute into the show.
Can we go a little bit closer? Hold on. Let's see. Well, now that's the best we can do. But
So,
You look great.
Micaela, what's the first song?
Oh, right off the bat.
We're doing a song already. By the way, you
No,
sang good.
not at all. You literally look like you just look like I'm a singer-songwriter, man. I'm totally writing about my ex-boyfriend. Like, you caught me.
I don't really have any ex-boyfriends, you guys. By the way, it wasn't a Hawaiian style. It was definitely, you were saying it like a Jewish style.
Oh.
Wait, is that why I keep thinking Micaela? Okay, so wait, it's Micaela.
It's Micaela. Yeah, Stephanie knows it.
you got it right.
I agree.
Micaela, Stephanie, and it's Teal Wicks. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, James.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to start right here because we saw the show. This was backstage. I think you were in, I don't know if it was critics time. It was right before you opened. And that is how much we loved the show. It was
we literally had tears in our eyes.
We had tears in our eyes. We were, of course, happy for Stephanie because we told her, it's like, you're going to win the Tony Award. It's like, how could you not? Because her performance was brilliant. And so were the two of you. I hadn't met you before into backstage and we said hi and was like, oh my gosh, I was kind of speechless.
Yeah, who chose those keys, girls? Everything was a high F. I was like, what is happening? I was loving it. Keep going, sorry.
No, so I told Seth because he has so many questions, but I said, let me be the fan who doesn't know anything about the show. And I'm going to just ask, how did you get involved? And then what the hell was your first thought when you were when someone said you're going to play Cher? Stephanie, go.
I got involved randomly by the wonderful book writer Rick Ellis. I was finishing up Falsettos. They were starting to do a reading. It wasn't gelling with my life, with my schedule, and so I had to pass on that reading. I knew it was moving forward. They graciously invited me back again. I was really very nervous because I'll be honest, like playing Liza was very nerve-wracking and I still felt the effects and I had thought, okay, I've done that process. I know what it looks like to kind of play that character. So maybe this isn't my role, my time, whatever. But then Jason Moore, the director, said, can I take you to dinner? I want to tell you about this sort of device that we're using with 3 women and sort of the spiritual aspect of it with the 3 women, not just playing literal and being young, medium, and old and passing the torch down to tell the story, but to share the stage together. And that's really what clenched it for me, just that whole idea of not having to just step right into into another living being's shoes and carry that all as a literal imitation or, an impersonator type sense. That there was this really artistic understanding and this arc of these three women that what we called Cherapy, we would talk to each other, and Micaela would talk to the older Cher, and I would talk to Teal as middle Cher and say, aren't we learning these lessons? Or don't you remember why you started? Or it was a really wonderful way of going back about telling this story. So I finally said yes. We decided to do the 2 weeks. And at the end of that, it was for Cher herself. And that's when we needed to get the blessing. So 42nd Street Studios, fluorescent light, with Cher sitting 5 feet away. And that's what we needed to then move forward. And then it was Chicago, and then more rehearsals and Broadway.
But wait a minute. So was there pressure of like, Cher doesn't like it, then that's it? We're not going to.
I don't know if it's not it. I can't speak. I think that was an understanding with the producers, what that sort of understanding was. I can't speak to that. But I certainly know there was a big pressure because she was just so close. And she was there with her entourage of 15 dear ones that supported her, and these aviator sunglasses that protected her, and this big like velvet sombrero fedora thing that protected her. Remember, Mick?
Oh yeah.
So in other words, it was easy to spot her in the
there was no incognito happening, but there was hand holding, and there were tears coming from those aviator sunglasses, and there were plenty of notes, like lots to be changed. But I think the overall feeling was she walked away saying this was worth her blessing and her involvement and her investment.
Micaela and Teal, were you there at the very beginning, the one that Stephanie wasn't able to do?
No, none of us were. But I did the lab, so that one that ended in fluorescent lights with sombrero. And I kind of did have like the opposite reaction as Steph, just because like I had nothing to lose. Like I was kind of plucked out of nowhere, which was the luckiest thing that ever happened to me. But I also was like, no one knows who the F I am. So like, I'm just kind of here hoping to do my best, Well,
by the way, if people don't know, Micaela is one of those people who looks young. You just turned 40, right? But you've got that youthful. Yeah. She literally was in high school. Am I right? You were like in high school when you auditioned?
Yes. I had just graduated.
That's amazing. So you were on your way to Carnegie Mellon. You're like, oh, just for funsies, I'm going to try out for the show to see what it's like to try for a Broadway show. It's hilarious.
Brilliant.
Okay,
Great.
so wait, so you didn't feel the pressure because you were just like, whatever, this is amazing.
Well, I think like, I don't know what you felt, Steph, when you did Liza, but like, I'm sure there was like a excitement and a like balls out kind of, sorry, I don't know if that's the term, but like that kind of just like all out, all in deal. And like, hopefully this is good for you because I'm having fun, And so that's kind of what I did. Yeah.
Teal, how did you? So were you weren't at those? So when did you get involved?
I joined basically right before Chicago. I was never. I'd heard that the show was happening, but it never really crossed my, my emails or anything like that up until before Chicago, and it just kind of popped up, and they're like, "We're looking for the lady," and it's just one of those funny things because I had heard about the show and never did I have a thought of like, ooh, I need to get after that. Like that's my jam.
Yeah.
I liked Cher. I have mad respect for Cher. I've always enjoyed her. I really liked her movies. So I was like, sweet. It never really I never thought that was going to be the show that I like sunk my teeth into. And then when the audition came up, they were, looking for a new lady, and it's when I got the material, I started singing the songs, and I was like, oh my god, oh wow, these actually like sit really well in my voice, and the script was really great. It was fun, but it was also really grounded, and I don't know, there's just a lot of things that clicked, and somehow it was one of my favorite audition experiences, which auditions suck.
They're horrific.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, Teal, since you're talking, I just sent you, because we're doubling donations. They're coming in really quickly.
When someone just asked,
good.
Your phone.
Yeah, Teal, check your phone.
Saying, what's the donation email? So again, it's just, you go to starsinthehouse.com.
It's right there. It's streaming on the bottom.
It's right there at the bottom. or you can text Fund 2020 to 56512.
And then you forward your receipts, which you're going to get right away, to donations at starsinthehouse.com. And then someone like Teal will be reading them. Teal, what have we gotten so far? These are just a couple of them.
It's only
Is it time? Is it time? Yes. I can tell my story was really interesting because now
you earned money. You were talking and the money was flowing.
Bring the monies in. Okay. All right, guys. Donald from North Carolina, $20. Hey, Donald. Brendan from Rhode Island, $25. Hey. Greg and Kate from Massachusetts, $15. Oh, thanks for sharing your talents with us all. You're welcome. Louis or Louise, I never know how to say that, in Washington, D.C., $25. Love Cher and the women who play her. Same. Aww. Caitlin from Illinois, $25. Kevin from Virginia, $25. Love the Cher show. Yeah. Bert from Wisconsin, $51. Love Stephanie's story. They love Stephanie. They love your story about finding your Cher voice while whitening your teeth.
I haven't done it in a while.
Same. Who's got time and money?
But the voice is still there. So thank by the way, keep those donations coming. Yes. And we're going to keep reading them out loud. So you were talking, so the first time the three of you played the role together was
in Chicago.
Rehearsals, yeah. As soon as
rehearsals and then off to Chicago.
Yeah.
So does this look familiar?
Oh,
yeah. That picture totally represents us. I'm an idiot. Steph is poised, and Micaela is young and figuring out what's going on in life.
Yeah. So perfect. Remember when we could gather, guys, in a rehearsal studio? Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So we were talking just for 2 seconds when you say playing Liza. I think maybe people, especially the youngers, are like, what? Just talk for 2 seconds about what that means, playing Liza, because the people that don't know that story.
Back in 2003, there was a musical starring Hugh Jackman called The Boy from Oz. It was the story of Peter Allen. Liza Minnelli, his life was intertwined with Judy Garland and her daughter, Liza Minnelli. And Liza actually married Peter, and they maintained this beautiful friendship almost up until his death. Peter Allen, oh, spoiler, Peter Allen's death. And it was while I was in the original company of Wicked. We were about to go out of town. I was very much in the headspace of I just want to sing for every casting director and get myself out there. So on lunch breaks from rehearsing Wicked, I would go, I sang. That was a Monday. Tuesday during my lunch break, I did a dance. The next Monday, they said, would you do a 2-hour work session with Hugh? I did that. And a half hour later, the phone rang and that happened. So it was a bit of a whirlwind. I got on a plane to go to San Francisco, but I cried, Mick. I felt very differently. I got chosen. And then when it sunk in that I actually had to do the job and I wasn't quite sure how to approach it or if I could win. And this was before social media, right? There were no online chat rooms or social media at all. And the fear sunk in and I wept the entire way to the West Coast, not quite knowing how to broach playing this iconic woman. Rehearsals were great. Previews were heinous. Previews were changes like mad, everything from my entire look. And it really was Hugh. I didn't trust my instincts enough to use my voice. And that is one thing that I actually admire with Teal and Micaela. Even Mick at a very young age would use her voice and say, this doesn't feel right. Or do you think we could possibly? I was 29 and I didn't have that voice in a rehearsal room. I just let the director do whatever. So by the end of the previews, I had lost, I think, what instinctively I wanted to do with Liza and how I wanted to portray her. And Hugh Jackman had to come to my aid and say, stop messing with it. We had it and we've lost it. We've just lost it. So it took us a couple weeks to get back. And then it felt safe and playful and wonderful. But for a Broadway debut, that was really challenging and a complicated time because I didn't believe in myself enough to put on the coat of another, living, breathing actress. And I have found like people will always ask me, what's the lesson or the class that you want to keep forever that you feel has changed your life? Therapy. Therapy is what makes us the better actors, because I think once we learn who we truly are, then we can invite another sort of characterization or life form and then we were able to comfortably put on that suit and walk and tell the story. And I wasn't there yet at that age.
I will interject and say that the dance she is referring to in Boy from Oz. Oh, sorry.
Boy from
Is her, she just dances her booty off, and it's so good. And it was like a page in my Bible in high school. I would like click that 9-minute YouTube bootleg and sit there like, oh my god,
oh, that's so cool.
And in the end, yes,
Sister Cher.
Stephanie, but in Chicago, you were in the Hugh Jackman role of being the lead out of town of the show. So how was it different?
I will tell you, Chicago was a different beast in the sense that how much did we change, you guys? 80%, 70-some% before we hit Broadway? So yes, I was the first one that maybe took the step out of the wardrobe. And those of you who saw Chicago understand that the play started in a dressing room and these wardrobes of mirrors walked out and every single woman in the ensemble was dressed as Cher. And it took a hot minute for the audience to really engage and handpick who the storytellers were going to be. And I will say that Chicago was this beautiful shared, there's no way around it, right? Beautiful shared experience with the three of us. And then little by little, it took a different shape. But I'll tell you, the storytelling from what you saw in Chicago to what happened in New York was completely different. There was no like popping up in the turn back time outfit. There was still much more of, how do we say this right? Much more of a freedom to still infuse a little bit more of ourselves, right? To tell the story of Cher. When we got to Broadway, there was a certain understanding that the audience really, really wanted more of what made Cher Cher and how we could embody her, voice her, and gesticulate her as much as possible. They needed that to just anchor the storytelling and then come on board for the next 2.5 hours. So what you saw was quite different.
And were those chain
donations?
Wow, more donations.
We have 2 more donations.
I love it. Yes, the Cher show.
Because you're coming so quickly. So hold on. So Micaela,
Yes.
I just sent you some.
I love it.
I think I promised they would be read in Cher's voice. So
I gave you a little. So
you give me
a
second.
very little.
Okay, I'll give you a little too. Oh God, this has
been a year, you guys. It's been a year.
A long time, Seth. I've worked to not do this anymore.
All for the Actors Fund.
Okay, I need like a warm up. Oh God. Lisa from Queens, $25. Elizabeth from North Carolina, $51. Thanks, ladies. I was lucky enough to see the show when I came home for Christmas. Ellie from New York, $20. Thank you for all you are doing. Hillary from New York, $100. Thank you, Stars in the House. Katie from New Hampshire, $25. Loving the 3 shares. Jackie and Vive from New York, $25. Keith, Tanner, and Dana from New Jersey, $50. Happy to make a donation, and thank you so much for bringing this wonderful group of talented actors together. We are huge fans.
Oh my gosh!
Yes. You still got it.
Oh, somewhere in there. I don't know.
Should we have someone sing and then bring on Dr. LaPook?
Yes, although we had one vital question. Where was it? Oh, here it is.
Oh.
Very important question. Question for all 3. Did you have any downtime in the show to pee?
I did, and it was the first time I got to pee was right after my kind of section was finished, and I passed the baton. And I always went into Steph's room because I was on that side of the stage, and I would like go into her little dressing room, pee, and then come right back out. But that was my time, and I was like, I'm Stephanie J. Block for 3 seconds of my life.
Stephanie definitely had the closest restroom, and
yeah,
I think we
it came in handy
at one point.
Yeah.
My pee break was intermission, and then Act 2. I think like in the later somewhere in Act 2, I had like a minute to use the bathroom, as long as it was Steph's.
Oh my God!
Wow,
Stephanie, have you peed yet?
No. My bladder is the size of my light ring. Both are quite broad. I peed at intermission, and I peed right before Way of Love. Those were my 2 moments. But it's not dribble, dribble, belt, belt, belt. That's just the way it happened.
I have to say, I remember, I feel like it was partway through, when you're putting up the show, you're figuring out when you have time to do anything other than like freak out and get on stage and not fuck it up. Sorry, excuse me, F it up, whatever. I remember there was a moment where we literally, in our backstage choreography, added a Stephanie bathroom break where you had to like go and run down the stairs and then run up, and it was a whole thing because I was like standing in the weird little like change booth. It's just the things that evolve throughout the course of a show, and like it gets built in and then becomes like a thing. Then we like say hi, and you notice the same people, and you're like saying hey to the same people and do little bits. But I remember when that was added in, it was like a clear. It was definitely like a clear.
Because the stories could be told. They could be like, oh, did you hear that when Stephanie was doing Cher, they had to have a stage manager. I'm just projecting what could possibly be said. They had to have a stage manager at the bathroom door, and everybody had to clear because she had to run downstairs. But there were 2 times where there were 2 bathrooms right down at the lip of the stair, and they were both being used. And I was like, I've got another 45 minutes and correctamundo. And there was many times where I was like, I am going to pee myself. So they did have to send a stage manager down there moments before and just be like, clear, and not allow anybody to go pee or poo until I was back on stage singing.
I will say also the other thing about pee is it's a sacrifice sometimes too. Like if you're tired and you're giving all your energy on stage, and you have to make a hard decision of like, do I want to run all the way downstairs and then all the way back up the flight, right? Or do I want to just hold it? Like maybe holding my bladder will take up less energy.
Yep,
sacrifices. You know.
I thought Bob Mackie had diapers sewn into the.
No extra material. No extra material.
That's true.
Well, never mind.
Who's the line? Stephanie J. Block. I just sent the third set of donations. We're getting so many.
Are we ready?
Compliment for all 3 of you. From David. I have been a Cher impersonator for over 25 years, and these 3 ladies blew me away.
Yay, David!
Thank you.
We were nervous. We knew the legion of her fans and those that impersonate her were going to be some of our toughest critics to, get on board and get engaged. And luckily, they did right away. We were very lucky. Yeah.
Well, you guys are also amazing. So Stephanie J. Block, if anyone had just started watching, all donations are being doubled tonight for the Actors Fund. And Stephanie, by the way, just give us a second or two. So who told you to go to the Actors Fund when you couldn't pay your rent? How did you even know about it?
There was a gentleman by the name of Michael Kostaroff. So I had done an industrial in Singapore, and there was a middle sort of entertainment company. So the big company would pay them. They in turn would pay our agents. Somehow that check got stuck with the interim or middle company, and it was 3 months, and we hadn't seen that paycheck. And, back in the day, if you were making $6,500, that was a huge thing, and that was going to pay my rent for like months on end. And I was waiting, and it just wasn't coming. And I thought, I'm going to have to either sleep on a friend's couch or move back in with my parents. And he said, no, you don't. No, you don't. This is legit. There was paperwork to sign out. There was, things to do, but they came in, saved my buns, paid my rent and a couple of other utility bills and stuff for 2 months. And then when the time came, and they do ask, when the time comes and you see yourself in a different financial position, if you can pay us back or pay it forward, that'd be great. So I was able to do that, but I will speak to, it's there, and it's a resource that, we could have never seen a global pandemic, right? But it is there for us. And I really encourage anybody that's really hurting, especially now that $600 ain't coming anymore. That's what it's there for. And we'll continue to work hard to keep raising money for them.
Oh, so well said. Anybody in the business, no matter what you do, behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, can go to the Actors Fund for your rent, your health insurance, anything you can ask for money. And we're doubling the money tonight. Stephanie J. Block, let's hear the latest.
Oh my God. Julie from Texas, you've donated $25. I don't know why there's not an emoji on here, honey, but it's okay. Shannon from New Jersey, $25. I enjoyed the Cher show so much. It was such a party. Zoe from St. Louis, $25. Marissa from Nanuet, 25, is that a place? Nanuet? $25. Molly from New York, $10. Kate from Fairfield, $51. I'm so interested in this number of $51. Maybe you can speak to that. Thank you for all the Sherapy. You got it, honey. It's cheap at $51. Allison from New Jersey, $20. The Cher show was such an important show in my life. Saw it 3 times, and I love all 3 of these women. Thank you all so much. Oh my God.
Before we bring, first of all, that invitation was amazing. Second of all, before we bring on Dr. LaPook for our medical break, Micaela, since you are in a recording studio, would you grace us with a song?
So I just moved into a new home with my boyfriend Nathan, who is gonna. Thank you. You're the best ever. And he, I was telling Seth earlier, but I am lucky enough to live with a guitarist, a pianist. He can just do everything in the whole world and still love me. So I feel very lucky that he can play for me. And we have been nonstop this quarantine listening to Anais Mitchell. She's like our favorite songwriter ever. And since it's, lots of theater fans out there, we figured we'd do this one.
Okay, we'll go. We're going to go.
Okay. I was alone so long, didn't even know that I was lonely. Out in the cold so long, didn't even know that I was cold. Turn my collar to the wind, this is how it's always been. All I've ever known is how to hold my own. All I've ever known is how to hold my own. And now I want to hold you too. You take me in your arms and suddenly there's sunlight all around me. Everything bright and warm and shining like it never did before. For a moment I forget just how dark and cold it gets. All I've ever known is how to hold my own. All I've ever known is how to hold my own. But now I want to hold you close. I don't want to ever have to let you go. Now I want to hold you tight. I don't want to go back to the lonely life. Say that you'll hold me forever. Say that the wind won't change on us. Say that we'll stay with each other. And it'll always be like this.
Nice. Thanks. Wait. Okay. Nathan, the crazy talent level.
Oh my gosh.
The beautiful
amazing.
Harmony. What up with that? Okay, everyone's in a state of shock.
You guys stop.
Yeah, you're amazing.
No, stop. Oh my gosh, Nathan.
How crazy is he?
Those two are the dreamiest. Are they not the dreamiest? Can we just have them be like the future of all our little folk love duos?
And we have really important advice for people out there. Get someone who looks at you like Nathan looks at Micaela.
I will say, I learned a lot about, everybody always is like, what did you learn the most in the Cher show? And like, if I take away like some of the acting stuff, so much of what I learned, and I say this every time, is like watching Steph and Seb navigate their like lives together through like, I guess 2 years, I guess like 2.5, on and off, was like, it taught me a lot about how I want to be treated and what I want my love to look like. And,
oh my gosh.
I do feel very lucky I have Nathan.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Hey, that's really sweet. B. Micaela, back to work. We sent you more donations to read.
God, and then we'll get to Dr.
We're getting so many.
Did I earn it to say it in my own voice?
Yeah, well, maybe you can riff a little bit. How about that? Because your riffing was amazing.
Florida. I just spent so much time in Florida. I'm a really good tennis player now, you guys. Okay. $100 to the lovely ladies of the Cher show. You were all so brilliant. Sandy from Seattle, $25. Thank you for the Chers show. Cool. Christina, $25. I went to see the Cher show twice in 2 days. We had a lot of repeats, and that meant a lot to us. It was like we're doing something right for those people who love it, you know? Mark from Massachusetts, $51. Thank you all for lifting us all up. Debbie from Texas, $25. I loved the Cher show. Marsha from New Jersey, $51. Kate from Connecticut, $51. Thanks for the Sherapy. You helped me. #believe. Is the 51 a tax thing, you guys?
I think it helps like cover credit card fees and that sort of thing. I think that's
51.
So, guys, we're going to take a medical break. Stephanie, when we come back, we have to remind everybody, Stephanie and I have a big concert coming up this Sunday night, by the way. The Seth Conscious Series. We'll discuss that later. But first some medical advice.
Yes.
So, ladies, this is your pee break.
Is your pee
Go
break.
to Stephanie's dressing room right now.
Let me go clean the toilet. I'll be right back.
Clear.
All
All right,
right.
Dr. John LaPook, come on up. Sweet girl.
Here he is, Dr. John LaPook.
Hi, Dr. LaPook.
Hi, Dr.
All right, just some quick comments. Micaela Diamond, that is why there's a difference between a professional and an amateur. I mean, I'm just sitting here listening to that and thinking, okay, that's what a professional sounds like. That's why we need the arts. That's why we need the Actors Fund. That's why we need to support them. That's just so moving. Second, all this discussion as a physician, as all this discussion about having to pee when you're in a performance, do you go run downstairs? Do you run upstairs? And I'm thinking maybe we need to get NASA involved. You know, they've thought this through.
They have those diapers. I know.
Oh.
Right, about that whole, what do you do in space? What do you do on the stage? It's probably, similar kind of solution. So I'm just going to throw that out there. And the third thing I'm going to say before medical stuff is, first of all, I love the Cher show, Teal, and the other two, Stephanie J. Block and Micaela. But Stephanie J. Block, I remember from The Boy from Oz, which was a very emotional night for me because I was sitting next to two people who were very, very, very close with Peter Allen.
Oh, wow.
They were in tears, I would say, from the beginning to the end. And flushed with emotion. And so I was too. And she was amazing. And at one point, one of the two of them turned to me and said, "Did you know Peter?" And I said, "No, but because I'm crying." She said, "I know, but I'm like a kid. If you're crying, I'm crying."
Right. Of course.
I will never forget that night. And Hugh Jackman he can do anything.
Oh, by the way, Doc, I love this. Somebody just wrote this. I saw Dr. LaPook on Colbert last night. And I was like, I already know all this stuff because I watch him on Stars in the House. We're so lucky to have him here with us. It's totally true. I love that. That's so great. But congratulations on Colbert. That was a big deal, man.
Thank you. They gave me a lot of time. And I did plug Stars in the House at the end, but we ended up on the cutting room floor because they gave me 15 minutes, which was crazy. Wow. But I did open. I can now, the other night I opened for Barry Manilow. Yes. In a way, I opened for Maroon 5 because they came after me. So, okay, I'm done.
Not quite saying that. So what's the update? Should we all fly to Russia? Because I heard they have a foolproof vaccine.
Oh, let's just wait and see. I think it may work. It's a nice platform, this adenovirus. We know that's the one that Oxford is using in Johnson & Johnson. But look, it's not a race. God bless. Everybody should have a vaccine. It should work everywhere. So Sputnik, I don't think it's the same thing. I think everybody needs a vaccine. I will tell you the one thing I'll say today is everybody is talking to me about school, returning to school. What do we do? I had 2 conversations today with 2 sets of parents. And I think the devil is in the details. I'm just going to say it really quickly. First of all, you've got to be in a green area. If you're in a hot zone, don't even think about it. It's just a recipe for disaster. Let's assume that you're in a green area, relatively few cases. The percentage of people testing positive is relatively few. You still need a plan. The devil's in the details. You got to know, has the school district really thought about this? Is everybody wearing masks? Is there physical distancing? And ventilation. Now that we know that it's spread in the air, we don't know exactly to what extent aerosolizations past 6 feet is contributing. There was a recent article showing that viable virus in a hospital room was present at 16 feet. That doesn't mean that it could infect you. It means that they could find it and isolate it and put it into the cell culture. But still, you got to start thinking about that. And what is the downside to having more fresh air in a building? So I think people need to know about these plans. And then very important, we need to have testing. So it may not be the PCR, which is the most, the most accurate test, but that's taking days to come back now. There's a more rapid test, which is called an antigen test, and there are some other rapid tests. Maybe it's 90% effective, but if you do it every 2 to 3 days, think about it. Then in cumulative fashion, it could be a good way of figuring out when people get infected. And that's the thing. If it's going to be a week or 2 or 3 later when there's an outbreak in a school, that's when you find it out. It's too late.
Wow.
If you're going to send kids back to school, you really have to have the way to test everybody quickly, efficiently. And then if somebody tests positive, they're home, you figure out who their contacts are and all that. But I do think it can be done. It just has to be done very carefully. And you cannot be stuck in just, I'm going to do it this way. You have to be nimble. You have to be ready to call an audible. And if it looks like it's not working, then you got to rethink your plan.
I wanted to ask you, was your father a dentist?
Yes, Dr. Sidney LaPook. He died at 99 3/4 2 years ago. And the Battle of the Bulge, Patton's Third Army, and he saved a cow in a little town called Bati, France. Google Sidney, Sidney LaPook space cow, and you will see a story on CBS Evening News which will knock your socks off. I thought it was baloney, this story. It was hit by shrapnel. Anyway, he ended up getting the French Legion of Honor award. Wow. He was a great guy, and I miss him every second of my life, as I miss my mother.
I was saying, it wasn't just a random question, though, because one of our viewers, hello, Dr. LaPook, his dad was my dentist and was exceptional. He, too, was exceptional. So from a former patient with good teeth. Just so you know.
All right, Dr. LaPook, we'll see you tomorrow night.
Yes.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you, Dr. LaPook. Always lovely having him here. I just sent another.
Oh my
We've getting a lot of donations because we were doubling donations tonight because
yes.
Concord Theatricals are doubling our donations. So Teal Wicks, I just sent you some donations. I think it was you that I sent to, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Oh wait, hold on.
Oh.
Paste
with a new ring light.
There it is.
Oh, I know, light.
Oh yes.
It's still not even. It's super Jimmy rigged. I was in the dark.
I think these are for. I think this is for you, isn't it? Yes. Wait.
I got some.
Oh yeah. Okay. Good. Great. Hit it.
Okay. Ava from Georgia, $103. Thank you. Love, Cher. Gigi from Brooklyn, $25. Josh from Kansas, $25. Okay, since I'm not going to do my Cher voice anymore, I'll be like, Katie from Illinois, $25. Love y'all three so much. Love you, Katie. Christy, $51. Love the shares. Julia from New Hampshire, $25. I'm just going to go in and out of all of it.
Yeah. Yes.
Hannah from Illinois, $10. Yeah, girl. I saw the Cher show in Chicago. I have never been more empowered by a show the way I was empowered by that show.
Great. Yes.
Okay, I'm so obsessed with the belting. Listen to you three ladies together, how amazing you guys are.
So early in the morning.
Hives.
So early in the morning.
I have hives. I'm just watching that. The cold. It was just horrible. Oh my God. That was just bringing up a lot for me.
Those are raisins.
As I try to do my Kamala Harris hair, I don't know if anybody noticed, but I did my hair like Kamala on purpose. What do we think?
It's really good.
Who's got time on her hand?
Beautiful.
This girl.
I vote for you. Micaela, so what up with the Botmonts? How did that happen?
That's really funny. So I guess like maybe 2 days before we left for Chicago, we were really having trouble with the pick-me-up spot in Act 2, as I call it. And, we had a game show at one point, which got like dicey and sexy, and it was really fun, but kind of falling flat sometimes. And we tried a bunch of things in this spot. And then all of a sudden, I guess Rick the writer had this idea to do kind of like a dream sequence, name on everybody's lips-esque choreography moment to talk about her entire film career, to get it kind of to move the plot along while also talking about all of her movies. And so he wrote this thing, The Beat Goes On, which did not end in winning the Oscar in Chicago. that ended up being an ending that was, you know, made for Broadway, which I think was a perfect ending. And a like beautiful little moment between Steph and I every night. But the Batmas were essentially Chris Catelli coming up to me, the choreographer, like in rehearsals, like right before we left for Chicago, like we needed to finish the show. And he was like, I need you to tell me your pros and cons as a dancer. And I was like, I can kick. And I love Fosse. And he was like, okay. And like choreographed this number in like 2 days. And we did it kind of together in a room and it was amazing. And, you know, he played to all of my strengths. And so I got a few Batmas.
Okay. If people haven't seen it, it's literally a full 180. And by the way, it's such a long leg that actually you're almost behind the beat because you have to get it so high up. It's just, okay, everybody watches. I'm obsessed with it.
I mean,
I just sweat so much watching that. You're really doing things to me, guys.
come on, guys, donate. You see that?
Right.
Look at that count.
Yes.
$10 for every kick, guys.
Teal Wicks, speaking of extending things, so I was watching some of your Wicked clips. You literally extend the E, like the hard note in Wizard and I that we all want to get off of. By the way, never played the role. I'm not a woman. But if I did, half of Oz's favorite team. But literally you hold it and extend it. What up with that?
I have no idea because this Teal would not do that. I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing back in those days.
Really? Because it
Young
sounds like
and
you do.
came out and did whatever worked.
But you were able to do it.
I wish I had an explanation. I don't. I was young and dumb and just let it fly.
One thing you need to know about Teal is she always undertalks herself. She's self-deprecating. The woman needs like a PR person right by her at every moment going, no, speak the truth. You own that. Girl.
Well, yeah, I own it because I honestly, my friends sent me recently like a TikTok that they found of me doing Wizard and I was like, oh my God, I used to sing like that? That's wow. I did that? Just I wish I could say that I had like back in the days I had skill, I had raw talent, some technique, but I have way more technique now than I did then. So there were a lot of things that just happened sort of accidentally back then that either worked or didn't.
Good and bad.
Yeah. And then now I could probably have a good reason why I did that, but back then, I don't know. It just because I hate the E's. No.
Really?
Like, what?
Okay, listen to this. It's stunning.
Oh, no.
Such high esteem. When people see me, they will scream. For half of Ozzy's favorite team.
Wait, one more time. One more time because I'm obsessed. Listen how long that E is held.
Held in such high esteem. When people see me, they will scream. For half of Ozzy's favorite team.
I don't know. It's a 10.
No, that was a pure vowel.
Pure.
Oh, I'm pure.
When Seth says something like this, you should remember it and really take it to heart. This is so cool.
Thank you, Seth.
I'm breaking down our performances right now.
That's hilarious.
I just have no idea how to ever do that now. So that's why I'm just like, wow. It's fine. It's good.
It's perfect.
You're the same person. And this is you're back in the day.
I know it's like 25 years ago.
You're acting like you're Elaine Stritch at the end of her years, looking back at a kinescope from 1921. Star. Stephanie J. Block. Let's talk about you for a second.
Oh boy.
First of all, like I said, we're doing this concert on Sunday, and I was going through all this old material. I forgot how amazing you were in Anything Goes. I don't know if people realize like you're a full out dancer too. Why like have you never like originated a show as a dancer? I guess Liza, but like why not?
Never forget that.
What show?
I don't know. I don't consider that's not my meat and potatoes. I think I started such a long career in regional theater that you have to have all those skills just to work, right? You've got to be able to play the Nellie Forbush or the Sarah Brown ingenue role, and you've got to be able to tap, and you kind of have to dabble in all of it just to stir all those pots and pay your rent. But when I came to New York, I don't know. I got kind of pegged as the sort of park and bark, and the dancing never really came into play. But Kathleen Marshall did, she took me to a rehearsal room and said, let's just see what you've got. Let's play a little bit. And most of all of the original choreography I could do, not all of it. I couldn't Batma like beautiful Micaela. And there were a couple of, I don't know. I don't even know the language of the triple time cow sow that I couldn't do. So we, again, she edited things to my strength. And the dance captain there, Jennifer Savelli, was really wonderful. And she said, look, trust me, I will never make you look bad. And I have found that if you just release and say, okay, I trust you, especially when you're being put into a show that already exists and it's a well-oiled machine. And that cast was really lovely. And the sailors were just so supportive and lifted me up. And I felt really, really lucky that in just 23 hours rehearsal time, that happened.
Was it crazy to do the big finale of Act 1 and dance 25 minutes and then have to end belting a D? Weren't you like,
no, for some reason, that was like my Hail Mary. I was like, hey, everybody, I got about 75% of those tap dances right. But you know what I can do? I can slide up and just nail it with a D. So no matter how like chickadee, 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 chick, I would plant and then make that happen to like, forget that these are not the Jedis you're looking for. You know what I mean? Like, forget about what just happened and focus on this.
I was wondering, because I actually thought I was like thinking like that's amazing placement. So that is, you really were going for phenomenal placement, because I was like, she's Broadway. Like, it was so well done.
Thank you.
You listen to this, people.
Oh, hell.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Oh, again, I feel like Teal. Oh, the good old days.
5 minutes ago.
Micaela, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So you were about to start school. So if you hadn't been in the Cher show, you were about to start college, right, as a freshman?
Mm-hmm.
So did you go back to school, or did you decide like, you know what, I've been on Broadway, I know what I'm doing. Peace out to school.
I guess this is the time to do this, but today, actually, I got my seat approved, and I'm actually going to culinary school next month.
Oh my gosh!
Wait a minute. What are you making me?
I know. I'm so excited. I want to have like all the dinner parties. I have like just a trillion ideas of how food and our industry can align. And I love food so much, and I want structure in school in my life. Like, I loved school. So I figured, why not give it a shot? So I'm going to culinary school next month for 9 months.
I'm loving this, but is this because you're like, you know what? I can train Lily on the job in my actual field, so let me train in another field?
Kind of. I mean, I do think I learned a lot on the job for sure. I had to, but I do definitely, especially living with somebody who went to Carnegie Mellon, ironically, that I do think training is really necessary at points. Like, you know, he'll give me like one note on a self tape, and I'm like, why didn't I think of that? And it's like, well, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel stupid sometimes, which is fine. Like, I can just keep learning from him and people around me. Like, thank God my first show was with like 2 leading ladies who like carried me to bows every night. But I do think like I don't know. I just, there is a part of me that's like, I would love, because I know you can become a cook without culinary school. Like you can go work at a restaurant and learn on the job there. But I was like, this is the perfect opportunity for me to like go to school for something that makes me feel like I have a really significant knowledge of it and history of it and all of those things. And then, you know, maybe one day in 10 years from now, we can have like a cafe where people come and do stand-up or test music or test whatever they want to do. And it can also be a food celebration and all the things. I'm just very passionate about it. So
amazing.
What a big announcement.
Wow.
Teal.
Expecting that answer.
Yeah, Teal, what's your big
it.
announcement? Why does everyone have to have a big announcement? Okay.
I got nothing. I wear headbands to hide my bad roots. So I'll start a headband scarf consulting company.
It's real cute.
It looks fantastic.
Hey, Seth, should this be a song break?
Oh my God, I'd love it.
But before that, don't forget donations, everyone. Donate at starsinthehouse.com. We have that matching, and text Fun 2020 to 56512. You can also do that. Forward your donation receipt to donations at starsinthehouse.com.
Yeah, and they're being doubled.
Doubled.
All right, so Teal, what do you got up your sleeve?
Okay. I figured I might as well I'm going to do a little Sonny and Cher song, but it's going to be just Cher solo. Yes. We did this song in the show in the staged version. It was very, very condensed. It was the song that opened Act 2. Jared Spector, who played our Sonny, and I sang, and there was a time for a brief moment where it was a whole song, and then it was cut down to like half a song. But when we recorded the album, we got to record it as a full song, and I just love the song. It's such like a classic Sonny and Cher tune. It was like one of their biggest hits in the 70s. I think it's the only other song other than I Got You Babe that was nominated for a Grammy. So.
By the way, on a side note, people keep asking, where do I donate? Where do I send the receipt? What's the text number? It's all scrolling on the bottom. So if you just take 2 seconds.
That watch it on their phone, they can't see it. So I think that's what it is.
Should I put it in the comments?
So sure,
here,
put it up.
Text Fund 2020
to 56512.
56512.
There you go.
And forward receipt to donations.
It's gonna be a lot of misspelled, but we got
I'm trying. Okay. Donations.
You're doing it, multitasking.
Stars
at starsinthehouse.com.
That's all right. Yeah. Just put it up even with the misspelling.
There we go.
Get it,
okay.
friends.
So everybody, get ready for some Teal, sort of the Cher show, your own sassafras version. We're gonna leave you. We'll be back in a moment.
Right.
Peace out.
Right. I don't have a fabulous musical setup like Micaela. I am old school.
Solo.
Right. Hold on. Sorry. It's happening. It's happening. I promise it's happening. Sometimes when I'm down and all alone, just like a child without a home, the love you give me keeps me hanging on. Now, honey, all I ever need is you. Without our love, I never found a way. Through ups and downs of every single day, I won't sleep at night until you say, oh, honey, all I ever need is you. Winners come and winners go, and we watch the melting snow. But sure is summer, fall, or spring, all the things you do give me a reason to build my world around you. You're my first love, you're my last, you're my future, and you're my past, and loving you is all I ask, oh honey. All I ever need, all I ever need, all I ever need.
Okay. Fully arranged.
Fully arranged.
God.
With a little sunny moment.
Well, sunny, no moment.
I just want to again say how amazing you guys sound together. I have this other clip. The arrangements. Daryl Waters did the arrangements.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, they're so good. Well, first of all, before I show the Stephanie J. Blog, I just sent you a couple more.
Oh.
We have a ton more, turns out, but I just sent you 4.
And you want them read now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Tony from Connecticut, $5. Zoe from Chesterfield, $25. Christy and Patrick, $100. Hi, you guys. Josh from Orlando, $25. Thank you for bringing our star to the stage. Hashtag Cher Crew.
And you like the hashtag. Anyway, here's the few of you guys sounding amazing. I'm obsessed with the Daryl Waters arrangements and the high placement.
Where did you find these clips?
I have my sources. Now cut.
We have not
your spots.
Isn't that exciting though? Don't you love listening to yourselves and going like, we sound amazing?
No, I don't know many singers that do actually say that, right? I think the first instinct is to critique but do I say that was an awesome time and how lucky we were and gosh, do I miss it a whole lot? Yeah.
Question for all 3 from Jason. What project are you working on next? P.S. Can't wait for your concert on Seth and Steph. Oh, yay. Sunday night. Me and Stephanie. Yes, that is true. But yeah, what are you working on next, Teal? Wicks.
Honestly, I don't know. I was earlier this year, I was down in February, I went down to Signature Theater down in Virginia. And I was working on a new kind of revamped version of this Frank Wildhorn show called Camille Claudel.
Yeah, I remember that show.
Yeah. And so they rewrote the script and the music is really wonderful. And Camille's story is, anyways, she's heartbreaking and fascinating. And so it's a musical. And I was playing Camille. And we were about to go into tech when COVID really started going crazy in the US. And we pushed everything back a week. And then it was shut down and I came back to New York and it's all been put on a big fat hold. They said maybe just kick off their season next year, but with just everything that's going on in our theater world, I don't know. I really don't know. It would be great because I worked my butt off. It's probably the most demanding role in sing I've done since Elphaba days. So
wow,
it's scary and fun to try to jump into that. So that's really all I have.
Well, that's big. You have the title role in a new musical. Theater's going to come back. We just have to, wear damn masks and bring this thing down and keep donating. Okay, Micaela, we know what's next for you, and it's delicious.
That's right.
It's delicious, you guys.
Culinary School, 70J Block. We have a concert Sunday night.
We have a concert Sunday night. Yeah. I keep looking at my glasses and I keep thinking I'm straightening them, but I'm doing the exact opposite every time I try to fix them.
You want to be Laverne.
Just trying to get this going on. And I'll be real. I'm mama full time. That's happening full time. And, just trying to find little joys amongst the day. We were working towards a project called The Bedwetter for the Atlantic Theater Company. Sarah Silverman and Adam Schlesinger. And sadly, COVID took Adam. So I believe the project still is coming to the theater. Again, who knows what that timeline looks like. But for now, it's really mamahood and just keeping our spirits lifted and knowing how blessed and privileged we are, but trying to fight the good fight on, many fronts.
Okay, my final thing is, what's the funniest thing that happened on stage? Whose wig fell off? Who's Brosnack? Bob Mackey? Glitter?
On stage.
Funny.
Why can't I remember anything?
Funny thing that happened on stage.
I'm sending you donations too, also. Surely.
I know we broke up. I mean, I know that we've broken. Did Jared ever lose a mustache? I mean, there's got to be. There were so many facial hair and wigs and things that had to go wrong, right?
There were a few wigs, none of our wigs, but there were a few wigs that happened to be the very blonde wigs that tended to get really.
Oh, they grew. Yes.
One of them. I know Ashley Fitzgerald had like this one little sweet little bleach blonde bob that just like got bigger and bigger, and then
right. We were so funny, viewers. We were so funny, and so many shenanigans happened. Why can't we remember, you guys? Why?
Because they are like, there's this thing of like, you're tired, and then something weird happens backstage, and it's the funniest thing that ever happened. And it's not really like a thing. It's like the hardest times we laughed were like definitely backstage for sure. But there were a few times where I think like during previews, during I Got You Babe, Jared and I would break a little bit. Like he would look at me a certain way, and then I'd like be belting and then laughing through the belt, which is not good for me. Like when I laugh through a belt, like all these different things happen. And so that
was a massively quick costume change for both of you guys. So, right? Being out of and all that.
Oh yeah. But I don't know. They were like always backstage and small and little things that kept us going.
Did someone saying Chicago closing day? Was there a particular thing that happened on closing day?
I don't know if that was funny.
Yeah, that wasn't funny, but
Thanks, James.
I'm bringing the whole show down.
Remember the set? There were these walls, and they weighed like tons. And for some reason, the day before we closed, there was this hiccup where the booth was not calling the walls to move. The stage management team was not calling the walls to move, and they just started to move on their own. And these things were beasts. So God forbid if somebody were to get hit, it wouldn't just be a ouch, go see the physical therapist. It would be a big mess. So looking back now, we didn't know it at the time, but stage management got into the theater early on Sunday of our closing day in Chicago. They ran the show in time. It was picking up all the cues just fine. But then I think at like 15 minutes to curtain or something, there was this hubbub, and backstage we could see the crew just bringing chairs onto the stage. And we were like, what's going on? 5 minutes to curtain, the entire company is called downstairs to say, we're going to do like a book reading, a script reading of the show. Well, we'd never done just a script reading of the show. And the show in Chicago was a show within a show within a show. So it wasn't going to translate unless there were costume changes and set changes. And so we decided to do, we were going to call it the Cher show, since we are all just going to sit in chairs. But we decided to then just do a concert of 5 different tunes, which the audience was very lovely. I gave a little speech. One of our producers gave a speech. I think some people were a little, inconvenienced, to say the least. But the majority of the people were really behind us because they understood by no means was it our fault. And it really, really was a safety hazard. If it was just like, ego and let's try to make it work, because I've done plenty of shows where the sets have gone awry and we just don't use sets for like 3 scenes. That's happened with 9 to 5 and whatnot. There was no option, I don't think, with this particular hiccup that we were going to be safe. Plus, we just had never done a sit and sing of the Cher show before. Like, I don't know how we were going to make that work, but we tried until we nixed it. So yeah, that was our closing day. We left Chicago without essentially taking a final bow. I feel like though as a company, we were super unified when we left. There was something like crazy but empowering about that last day where we all just went, okay, well, let's see what happens. Let's sing a few songs and see what happens.
Well,
chaos first. And then it was like the magic of like, it was like something has to be done. And then I think it was, everyone just had to come together and do this thing. And it was like also our last day, and, kind of felt like summer camp being there. It was lovely and fun. And, you're out of town. And then, it was like right after we finished, everyone came together and it was lovely. But it is crazy how like it is such a dysfunctional family. And then all of a sudden it's like, we're fine. You know what I mean? Like,
well, Chicago was difficult. Stephanie, tell everybody what your daughter said when you left the house you were living in Chicago.
Oh no! Oh no!
Exactly. We were in the pool, and us trying to leave Chicago, things went awry. So we were supposed to be on a plane. That flight, for some reason, was canceled. So we had to stay one more day. Said, what did she say? She said something like, "Do we finally get to leave this?" It was a word.
HOS, House of.
No.
Yes. No. She said House of Sadness.
Oh, House of Sadness. My mind went to House of Ace. I was like, she doesn't know that word, Seth.
She was like 3.
Yeah. Finally, we get to leave this House of Sadness. And you know, Vivian, that is so within her like vernacular to actually say something of that like weight. But yeah, we finally did. We started afresh. But I remember Chicago crazily but fondly. But you know, sometimes we change our. I'm looking at these other two faces to see if they're in agreement because I know memories a lot. But I really embraced the wackadoodleness of Chicago, and I felt like Chicago really embraced us.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree. It is one of those things where like I always, after doing the show, question of like, am I remembering this the way it happened, or am I remembering it the way I want it to have happened? Just because like so much of those questions came up when we were discussing Cher, because she's lived so much time in the spotlight. Obviously, that happens to a big extent when you're famous. And yeah, I completely agree. Chicago is like, what a fun, exciting time. Like, I do remember, though, crying over, like, the 50-page changes one night. You know what I mean? There were definitely stressful moments, but, man, it was, like, I remember it so, like, what the best time ever.
And I have a quick clarification, because when Vivi does say things like this, Seb writes them down because that's who he is, and I'm sure he'll make a beautiful book, you know, when I'm 95 years old. But it was House of Disappointment. Are we?
That's even better.
That is even better.
Wow, that is specific. You want to get Micaela, I just sent you some donations.
So our last
Micaela.
donations, I'm sure they're going to keep having them come in, but this is going to be the last ones read tonight.
Don't forget, we're being matching. So if you send any tonight, they'll be matched. So keep sending.
So incredible, you guys. Lane from Alabama, $25. Nicole from Florida, $10. Love the shares. Jennifer, $26. Sending love from the Bay Area, probably for Steph. Ashley from New York, $10. Terry from Covington, $103. My very first trip to New York was last spring, and this show was the main reason for going. You ladies rocked. Chloe from New York, $20. Saw the Cher show 7 times.
Wow.
Holy cow. All right, so ladies, this is going to play on SiriusXM Radio. Any other updates? Tomorrow we have the cast of Newsies,
right?
Because they're showing Newsies is going to be shown on Playbill in a week. So we have Jeremy Jordan and Ben and Kara and Aisha DeHaas. They're all going to be here. We have the reunion of the leads from Carrie. We have Betty Buckley, Lindsay Haley on Saturday. Stars in the House, just saying.
Right.
And I thought we'd close with this photo of the 3 of you bowing.
Oh, that was the last night in Chicago.
Oh,
that's the Cher show.
That was our show, you guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Cher show. And I guess for the exit music, I got to play something.
Oh, well.
Mandy, can you stop?
I don't know. What do you know by memory, Seth?
I don't know. What do I know?
What's happening?
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ladies.
This was an amazingly fun, easy ride tonight, and so many donations.
Great. I'm so glad. Thank you very, very much. And thank you, everybody, for sticking with us. We know last night, last minute postpone it. So thanks for showing up tonight.
Yes,
that's right.
Thank you, Concord Theatrical, for donating.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, Seth. So what do you got?
What's this Cher song? Was it Sometimes When I'm Down?
All right.
Yep.
How the hell does it go?
I literally just sang. Honey, all I need is you.
Right.
Without our love, I never find a way.
Yep. Right.
Dun, 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 dun.